Are you serious? Are you serious, guys? Hang on a second. Yeah. Serious. I am very serious. Very serious, guys. We got some breaking news we want to share with you, and it's definitely prophetic. I've been doing a lot of research this afternoon. Sorry I haven't gone live all day. I didn't get home till 2:30 in the morning. We had 2 hours of delays of storms, and then there was car accidents on the road delaying us getting us home. It was just a disaster. 2:30 this morning. So that's why I didn't do a show at noon. But I am doing a Bible study tonight at 6 o'clock right here on YouTube, as well as on Zoom. For those of you who want to be a part of it on Zoom, I'm doing a Bible study at 6 p.m. right here on YouTube. And then at 7 p.m., I am teaching the Demonology 2 class at Paul Begley Prophecy School of Prophecy. I'm teaching demonology class at 7. All right. I've been researching now for the last 2 hours. God spoke to me this morning and said, you better go look and see what they're going to do at the United Nations. So I went to the UN to find out this General Assembly, which had just started yesterday. The preliminaries just started. And I wanted to find out what in the world they're going to do, because God told me you better see. And in my 2 hours of research, I uncovered it. And there's probably more. Okay. And I'm going to share that with you guys in just a moment. And also, we're going to go back in time 4 years ago when Dr. Irvin Baxter prophesied on my two different live shows of mine that I interviewed him about what was coming from the United Nations. First of all, let's take a quick shout out for www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. Have you ever wondered why we visibly age? A big factor is a problem called collagen, or should I say the lack of it. So you need to pay close attention, because many studies have discovered that our collagen levels decrease by 10% every decade. Think of collagen as the glue that holds us together. The less you have, the more visible your signs of aging you may be. This is why you should go to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. You don't know it yet, but in these next 30 seconds, I'm about to share with you how to help you reduce these visible signs of aging. The secret is using collagen, not human collagen, no, but plant, egg, and fish collagen. And it's the closest thing to a fountain of youth I've ever found. This amazing product helps rejuvenate your skin from the inside out by supplying it with 5 specific types of collagen your body desperately needs. You'll help restore your skin's elasticity, types of collagen that your skin's elasticity, while reducing the appearance of the wrinkles. Here's what you should do. Thousands of people have already done it. They've put the 1 scoop in the soup or in the smoothie. It's tasteless, it's odorless, you'll become ageless. Go to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. Guys, seriously, you will be so happy that you made that decision. Now, let's go quickly. I want to thank all you guys for being here. Let's go quickly to what's going on in the United Nations. Give me a moment here. I didn't even make my banner. So the UN agenda. Now, you guys have heard of Agenda 2030, right? And Agenda 2030 is a grander plan of an overall, even more grander plan. Let me just make a little, throw it up there for you. Okay. But what does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? Well, here's what it says. What I'm saying is, if you read Revelation chapter 13, you'll find out what the beast kingdom is going to look like in the end days. Okay. You're going to find out what it's going to look like in the end days. It is quite extraordinary, the things that we're going to find out about. And it's a global consolidation or collaboration to bring about a one world government, a new world order. So here's what we found out. I went digging into the United Nations agenda. Agenda 21 was a you're right, misconduct. There's Agenda 2030 was a larger plan. There was first Agenda 21. That's part of the depopulation, to downsize the number of people on the earth. Agenda 21 is a part of Agenda 2030, which is a grander plan, which includes going green and this entire global warming initiative, which has a grander plan of changing social norms and removing God from our existence on the planet, which then is under a grander plan of a new world order or one world government where there an antichrist and a false prophet rule the world. This is part of the biblical play or the biblical prophecies taking place. So I went into the United Nations and I took a look at what was going on there. And I said, what God spoke to me and said, you better find out what they're doing. Well, this is it's a very complicated documents. But what I found out is this: there's going to be a proposed resolution to stop Israel and to divide the land. One of the things on August the 30th last month, a committee on the exercise of inalienable rights of the Palestinian people approved its annual report, and they call themselves the State of Palestine's ambassador is urging the international community to use the tools at his disposal to pressure Israel and to hold it accountable for its crimes against Palestinian people. That's what their agenda was. They want to ending the benefits reaped only by Israel, key for stopping cost-free occupation. Okay. Now I went deep into the memorandum, and this is what is going to be proposed to the United Nations Security Council, drawing attention to the continued exclusion of the state of Palestine from its rightful place in the international community. The ambassadors said that Palestinian leadership has decided to move forward with its application for admission to the United Nations membership, which was originally submitted in September of 2011. They called for the support of the committee, especially those who are Security Council members and have a pivotal role to play in that regard. In other words, 2011, this was submitted. This was under the Obama administration. They submitted to the Security Council that this needs to be brought before the General Assembly to vote to make Palestine a state. Okay. Now, this same resolution is going to be proposal is coming up again. They are going to propose it again. 11 years later, they're going to do it again. And they're going to say, let's make Palestine a state, even though they don't have any clear drawn lines of what the border would be. They're trying to pass it, make them a state, and then force a two-state solution, basically, or force Israel to the table and try to negotiate something or forcibly do it. So, but to get there, you got to first pass the Palestine state. Well, to get even that on the floor of the UN General Assembly, you got to get it past the United Nations Security Council. And there's 5 nations that have veto power. They are Russia and China, the United States, Great Britain, and France. Now, for 70, this being the 74 years that Israel has been a nation, no one would even thought about even bringing this before the UN, because the whole world voted in 1948 by a vote of 197-0 to make Israel a nation. Nobody opposed it. But now this resolution, this application for a resolution was put before the Security Council in 2011, but they got a veto, and the veto they couldn't get past the Security Council. Well, it's going to be put up there again, but this time there's nobody standing in the way of stopping it because we've had a change in leadership around the world. We've got people now in position of every government who believe in a two-state solution. The Russians and the Chinese certainly don't care. If you want to part the land, go ahead and part it as far as they're concerned. Matter of fact, Russia at some point, according to prophecy, invades Israel. Okay, so they're definitely not going to stop it. Great Britain had been and was always saying no, 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 no. But since Boris Johnson has just been removed as prime minister, and the brand new prime minister, who's only been there 2 weeks, Liz Truss, has now stepped in. She is for a two-state solution. So there's very possible they won't veto. And then there is France. Well, Emmanuel Macron, he's the guy who behind the scenes and has been holding meetings in Paris. He's trying to orchestrate the two-state solution. He would like to be the author of this potential covenant with many. So he's not going to veto this resolution application. And that only leaves one vote left that could veto it, and that's the United States. But President Biden is for a two-state solution. And my understanding is he is going to tell the UN, he's going to tell our ambassador, don't veto it. Let it go to a vote. If this happens, if all 5 of those big nations say, let it go vote, folks, I can tell you the vote will go against Israel. There's no question. They are outnumbered when the world is turning against them. So that is actually Bible prophecy that would happen. And I just read to you what the application is, and I'll read that again. And then I'm going to play for you what Dr. Irvin Baxter said 4 years ago. Again, drawing attention to the continued exclusion of the state of Palestine from its rightful place in the international community. The Palestinian leadership has decided to move forward with its application for admission to the United Nations membership, which was submitted back in September of 2011. The support of the committee, they are calling for the support of the Security Council, the committee of the UN Security Council, to have a pivotal role to play in this regard. Yeah, because they can stop it and never put it on the floor for a vote, or they can allow it to go to the floor. They do play the pivotal role. I just explained to you. Matter of fact, one more key player in all of this. I didn't even tell you that the Prime Minister of Israel, Yair Lapid, he's for a two-state solution. He believes that's the only way they'll have peace. So, folks, all the stars are aligned, if you will. All the pieces are in play. The perfect storm is in position, just as the red heifers just arrived in Israel, and 1 year from today could be sacrificed, and the ashes of the heifer used for the dedicating of a third temple. It's as if everything is falling in place perfectly. Now, what does this mean? It means they would part the land. And the Bible says, don't touch the apple of God's eye. The Lord said not to part the land in Joel chapter 3. But apparently, they're going to do it anyway, which is what Jesus basically was saying in Matthew 24, when he said that there will be an abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet in Daniel 9:27, that there would come a day when they would commit the abomination of desolation in the holy temple of God. Paul said this way, that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, that the Antichrist would walk into the temple of God before the worshipers of God and declare that he is God. Okay? So this is all prophesied in the Bible. Why is this so important? Well, let me play for you a little bit from Dr. Irvin Baxter. This is from let me find it. This is from 1, 2, 3, 4. This is from September.
Yes, for us in America.
Oops. This is from September the 29th, 2018. This television show aired on all of my networks and including YouTube. You can find it. It's called The Final Peace Deal Middle East. Irvin Baxter, Paul Begley. I want you to listen to what Irvin Baxter said on September 29th, 2018, 4 years ago.
People see us pulling out of possibly Europe and Europe pushing us away in NATO. They're saying, oh, this is terrible. Everything's falling apart. No. It's not terrible, because the Bible teaches the Antichrist, his power base is going to be Europe. Who wants to be aligned with that? Not me. We want to be, as we already read from the scripture there in Revelation 12:14, that this whole world government beast is going to be against Israel and trying to destroy Israel, which they've tried to do many times.
Yeah.
Of all the resolutions passed at the United Nations, since the founding of the United Nations, over 50% of them have been against one little nation.
It doesn't make sense.
This one nation with 1/10 of 1% of the world's population, and yet 50% of all resolutions are against this nation from the United Nations. The United Nations is Satan's method of ruling the world.
Wow. It could be the seat of the beast in a lot of ways. It's where the governing body's been working. I mean,
Revelation 13:2 tells you, it says that this, after it shows this beast, it says, and the dragon gave the beast its seat, its power, and great authority. If you're wondering who's coordinating all this move toward world government, toward one world religion, toward one world economy, it's the devil himself
It's the devil himself. He's right. So the bigger, the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, global sustainability, one world, new world order, or one world government, Antichrist, false prophet, and the dragon, the devil himself. That is the ultimate plan, which includes the parting of the land and trying to stop the return of the Messiah and to stop the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, Dr. Baxter, in that same about 2 weeks later, in October of 2018, I brought him back on my live broadcast. This was aired on YouTube when we began to talk about this again. And I want you to hear what was a discussion that took place on that one. Here we go. This is from around October the 10th, 2018. Here it is. It's a YouTube. It's a live broadcast with it was aired on YouTube, and it's called Prophecy Alert: Era of the Apocalypse, Blood Moon. Dr. Irvin Baxter and Paul Begley. Here we go.
Yeah, whenever they do reach this agreement, and we don't know for positive that it will happen with Trump, but if Trump's peace plan, which he has prepared right now, if that's the plan they adopt, then the Bible tells us very clearly what will happen once the peace plan is signed. It will include the creation of a Palestinian state in the West Bank, the area called biblical Judea and Samaria. Also, they will settle the Temple Mount problem by putting it under a sharing arrangement. The Jews are never going to agree to surrender access to the Temple Mount, because that's where God said, I will put my name there perpetually. And the Jews believe that that is the place where they need to go to pray and to contact God. They also believe that's where they are supposed to build their temple. The Jews are never going to be satisfied. Now, let me give you an example. In 2017, 16,000 Jews visited the Temple Mount. Now, back in 2000, 2001, 2002, the figure was almost zero. No Jews were going to the Temple Mount. The Jewish rabbis taught their people, you should not go up there because you are in a state of ritual impurity. You've had contact with a dead body, and until there's the red heifer, until you're able to cleanse yourself through the process outlined in Numbers chapter 19, if you go up there, you will be violating the scripture. And the Bible says a person who does that must be excommunicated, put out from the.
So he's telling you that the rabbis had always been teaching them, you can't go up there and pray. First of all, there's no temple. Second of all, you're not pure because we don't have a red heifer. Okay. That was part of their message. Then that changed. They realized well, we haven't had a temple for 2,000 years. We've had to pray all this time looking toward Jerusalem, even when the Jews were 70 years in captivity in Babylon. They didn't have a temple to pray, yet they prayed to the Lord facing the city of Jerusalem toward where the temple, the holy mountain was. So they begin to change that. They begin to say, hey, let it go ahead and pray. Matter of fact, it's okay to pray. We still need to build the third temple. And at some point, we're going to need the red heifer. Well, guess what? As you guys know, 5 red heifers have been identified in Texas, and they've already shipped those to Israel. They're there. They've been approved by the Jewish rabbis that these 5 heifers are all they're all kosher, which 2 of them are perfect. And so it's very possible that 1 year from now, when it comes time when they're old enough to be sacrificed, that one of the 5 could very well be still perfect and qualified and be used for the ashes. Now, here's why I'm saying all this. Why is this important? Because I just read to you when I started the broadcast that they are going to try to push this agenda again, this resolution again, and I don't see anybody standing in the way to stop it. It's all in perfect alignment, and it looks like we're coming upon it at any time, which means we are at the seat of the beast. As you heard Dr. Irvin Baxter say, he said that this is the seat of the beast, or this could be where it all goes down. And then he says it again. And of course, this was 4 years ago. Well, a lot has happened in 4 years. Russia's invaded Ukraine. The 5 red heifers have been found. We're coming up on Rosh Hashanah this month. They're going to bring this resolution to the Security Council. There is a lot has all the pages of prophecy have jumped off the pages. The scriptures, many signs have been fulfilled. Things are moving so rapidly. So I wanted to go back and dig into the archives. So I've spent the last 2.5 hours researching what God said to me today. He said, Paul, you need to go look what they're going to do, what their agenda is in this year's United Nations General Assembly, the 77th annual General Assembly of the United Nations. And the number one agenda they got a lot of agendas, and they're going to hide a lot of it in there. But the number one thing they want to do is part the land. Now, and then I started thinking about Dr. Baxter. I went back and I've interviewed him. I interviewed him 10 times. Actually, it must have been 11 times, because it was eight of my television shows. I was on 2 of his television shows, and 1 was that YouTube interview. So 11 times. And I wanted to find this information. And so prophecy is being fulfilled. In other words, but I got more information. I was just talking to Israel Hall, and Israel reminded me of a map that Dr. Irvin Baxter broke out 4 years ago on my live broadcast, a map that had leaked out of the White House, that had been proposed, that if they was to put together the peace and prosperity agreement, which ended up turning into the Abraham Accords, that they had a proposed parting of the land map, and that Irvin Baxter had gotten his hands on it, and he revealed that map on my television show 4 years ago. Well, that map is now in the UN agenda. It's in there, and Israel Hall showed it to me, and I have a copy of it, and I'm going to show it to you tomorrow in our live broadcast tomorrow. You don't want to miss that at 12 noon Eastern. We're in the last days. So in other words, what I'm saying is all prophecy. It's already been prophesied to happen. Just most theologians and most biblical scholars, or most pastors, don't even want to talk about it. They just want it to go away. They don't want to get into the negativity. They just want to be happy, and everybody, and it's all fine to be happy. I'm happy. I'm happy because Jesus is coming. But I also know he's coming much sooner than any of us really think, as the prophecies are coming to pass right before our very eyes. I'll be right back with more on the coming apocalypse. Can you hear Jerusalem's cry? Can you see the storm on the rise? Look around, you can't deny this is the hour of heaven's time. Armies gathering in the east for the war that's soon to come. Death will march with the beast, so seek the light and walk with the sun. Soon we'll see his wrath come down and the Lord descending from the sky. When you hear the trumpet sound, God has answered Jerusalem's cry. Sun goes black and the moon blood red, and the stars fall from the sky. Word of God in the Bible says we're living in the end times. Soon we'll see his wrath come down and the Lord descending from the sky. When you hear the trumpet sound, God's answered Jerusalem's cry. God has answered Jerusalem's cry. Soon the dead in Christ shall rise and join him in the sky. Even unbelievers will see God has answered Jerusalem's cry. God has answered Jerusalem's cry. He certainly is, and he certainly will, and we're living in these last days. That's right. Israel has been a nation now for 74 years, and we are now in that fig tree generation. Do you and are you ready to meet the Lord? Let me just say quickly, go with me to Israel. Go with me to Israel. You'll be so blessed, and you can get a hold of Tara Trogler if you want to find out more about how to do that. The phone number I had a second ago, here it is. You can get a hold of Tara Trogler if you call this number right there, 717-562-1204. That's 717-562-1204. Tell Tara you want to go to Israel. Ask her to help sign you up and get your deposit in. Okay? Be sure you do it. When are we going? February 7th through the 17th. God said to me, Paul, I've opened a window. You need to take as many people to the Holy Land as you can. I've opened a window. And so that window is right there. It is. We're going to go in. I don't know how wide that window is, if it's a 6-month window, if it's a 3-year window. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's more of like a 6-month window. I can't verify that, but he definitely has opened the window. We can travel, we can go, and our lives will change. Be a part of something. This could be my last trip. Don't know. This might be my last time to go. I don't know. I'm just telling you, the window has opened. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Now, tonight I'll be back at 6 p.m. Bible study. It's going to be really, really good. You don't want to miss it at Bible study. And then also Tonight at 7 o'clock, I'll be teaching Demonology 2 at the Begley School of Prophecy. Okay? Give your life to Jesus Christ. Don't forget, Rosh Hashanah is Sunday, the Feast of Trumpets. Get your offerings in with your prayer request. We're taking that offering up on Sunday. Some of you are already sending them in advance. That's good because we get those ready and we're saving all of your prayer requests. Send that offering. Say, this is for Feast of Trumpets, and here's my prayer request. You can put it in the mail and send it right now, okay? Or you can text it or email it. Here's what you can do because I'm tired. You can text the word give to that number there, 765-327-4200. That's text give, 765-327-4200. Or mail, put a check or money order in the mail with these special prayer requests that I can take to the wall. Send that check or money order with your prayer request to Paul Begley Prophecy. That's Paul Begley Prophecy, 1048-B. That's 1048-B, Sagamore Parkway West. That's Sagamore Parkway West, Box 33. That's Box 33, West Lafayette, Indiana. West Lafayette, Indiana, 47906. Or pick up the phone and call this afternoon. Call right now at 765-414-2230. That's 765-414-2230. Or just go to our website, PaulBegleyProphecy.com or PaulBegleyProphecy.org, and donate right there online and leave your prayer request in the notes. You can do it, any of those. Do it now and be prepared for the blowing of the trumpets and defeat your enemy and the blessing that comes with this offering. It's a free will offering. You give whatever the Lord tells you to give. The Lord just said, those that have more, give more, and those that have less, give less. You'll know what to do based on your situation. You will know. God will show you what to do. He said, don't come empty-handed, because you don't want to do that. You want to give. Cheerfully, freely, and honestly to God, and then He'll take care of all the rest. I'll be back, guys. I'll see you guys at 6 o'clock right here on YouTube and on Zoom. Okay, you can be a part of the 6 o'clock Bible study. I think we're in St. Luke's Gospel. I believe we're still in chapter 11. It's either chapter 11 or we're going to chapter 12. God bless you guys.